Well, we start with transfers. With less than a month to go until the Premier League returns, there's a potential blow for champions Arsenal as they look to strengthen their squad. So we're joined by Dharmesh Sheth, who can tell us more. Right, before that, there's been some breaking news in the last hour or so. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is about Vinícius Jr. And Sky Sports News understands that, as it stands, he looks set to stay at Real Madrid. And that's because Real Madrid have got no intention of selling Vinícius Jr. and they are confident that he will, in fact, agree a new contract at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid are in a bit of a sticky situation because Vinícius Jr. has only got 1 year left on his contract. So in 6 months from now, he could sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside Spain, and then he could join any club for no money at all next summer. And if you think about the valuation of the player, we think he's around £137 million. That's a big, big amount of money to forego by someone not signing a new contract. But it seems at this stage that Real Madrid are pretty confident that he will agree that new deal. Jose Mourinho, the new boss there, has made that return, of course, to Real Madrid, values him very highly and he wants him to stay put.
So how will that impact Real's pursuit of Yan Diomande?
Unaffected. I don't think this was anything to do with Vinícius Jr. at all. I suppose they may have used it as almost like a way to maybe put pressure on Vinícius Jr. But if you think about it, I think Dave Reed was on yesterday on Sky Sports News and he was illustrating the positions that Yan Diomande has been playing for RB Leipzig and during the World Cup as well. And he plays on both sides. So there is a situation where Yan Diomande could play on the right. Vinícius Jr. signs his new contract at Real Madrid. He keeps his preferred position on the left-hand side and Kylian Mbappé through the centre. Not a bad front three. As far as Diomande is concerned, he's continuing to train with RB Leipzig at the moment while talks with Real Madrid continue. When I say he's training with them, our colleagues at Sky in Germany are saying it's not that strenuous, the training he's doing, because they want to protect him, because there is a feeling that this deal is pretty close. We think RB Leipzig want around £102 million for him. They feel that that is a reasonable valuation for a player of his ability and his age profile. Real Madrid are offering a little bit less. There is a gap in valuation, but not so big that it seems insurmountable. It seems like it's a one-horse race for this player at the moment because PSG have pulled out and they publicly pulled out. So it looks like it's going to be a matter of when and not if Diomande becomes a Real Madrid player, but as yet there's no full agreement.
And then what does this mean for Arsenal? Does that mean they're going to now step up their interest in Bradley Barcola?
I think we need to just say Arsenal will continue to keep an eye on Vinícius Jr.'s situation still. I know we're saying he's set to stay at Real Madrid. This is Real Madrid's confidence that he is going to sign a new contract. He hasn't signed that new contract yet. So as far as Arsenal are concerned, his situation, as it stands right now, he's got a year left on his contract. That's why they are exploring the conditions of a potential deal with Vinícius Jr. and making it clear that they are interested. But as we know, how Andrea Berta does his business at Arsenal is very clear. It's not about focusing on one target and then the risk of that target not coming to the Emirates. Where do they go? They try to get their ducks in a row to Arsenal with 3 or 4 deals, with 3 or 4 targets, get as far down the line as they can with as many targets as possible, and then decide, right, this is the player we're going to go for because it suits the budget, it suits our playing style, and it suits the character suits the squad as well. So they will have looked at many other players aside of Vinícius Jr., aside of Morgan Rogers, who ended up going to Chelsea for £117 million. 2 of those players, one of them you've mentioned in Bradley Barcola, he's kind of intimated to PSG that he's not going to sign a new contract. That's primarily because in the biggest games last season, namely the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Liverpool, the semi-finals of the Champions League against Bayern Munich, the final of the Champions League itself against Arsenal in Budapest, he was on the bench. It was Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Desiree Doué who was the preferred front three for Luis Enrique. He doesn't want to go through that again. Yes, it might have been eased his situation because Yan Diomande is now not coming to PSG, but it doesn't change his situation really at PSG. He's still going to be the first pick after that front three. So it looks like he could become available for a transfer, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Liverpool are interested as well, and we think PSG might value him, well, initially at around £145 million. They see his age profile. He's a French international, and he's a back-to-back Champions League winner. That's how they will pitch it. That's why they will put the price at that high. The other player, of course, is Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. The issue for Arsenal there is Atletico Madrid, don't want to sell. Their price is going to be absolutely huge. And the player's preference, as far as we know, is to go to Barcelona. But if he was to go, Atletico Madrid would probably want to sell outside La Liga rather than to a rival in the same league as them. Hence why it's probably wise that Arsenal keep an eye on the situation of Barcola, of Alvarez, and on Vinícius Jr. as well.